Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Sports Shift. I'm joined here with my lovely host, Brylin Adams, and she's going to kick us off with all the news we have for you this week.
All right, so to start off, all 5 rookie first-round quarterbacks scored a touchdown in the first week of the NFL season. We got Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, and Mac Jones. Rio, what do we got next?
Well, I'm a little troubled to see no Eagles were on that list, but we have high hopes for them this season. But in other news, in the NHL, Zdeno Chara just signed with the Islanders. He's back where he started. How are we feeling about this? I know it was weird to see him in a Capitals uniform last season. It just didn't rub me right, and I'm used to seeing him with Boston, but I don't know. How do you feel?
No, I definitely feel the same way, just because majority of our life, he's been a Bruin, and for 14 seasons, he has been in a Bruins uniform. So but he was first originally signed with the Islanders, and then he went to Ottawa, and then he was in Boston. But everyone keeps saying Big Z's going home, but like for us,
Yep.
I'm like, Boston's his home.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about? But no, I think with a 1-year contract, I think it should be interesting. We don't know, will he retire? We don't know yet.
Right.
We don't know
He's
yet.
getting up there, but listen, you're never too old to play hockey.
All right, to close out the news portion, Sofia Laspina is the first female football player in Long Island history to score a high school touchdown. Girl power. That is amazing.
Girl power for sure. You go, Sophia. But bringing it back home here to Philadelphia, the Phillies Monday was not such a good start for their series against the Orioles. However, they cleaned up their act last night, bringing it into extra innings when JT Realmuto hit a walk-off. And Bryce Harper ran in from first. The crowd was electric. I watched the game myself, and it was just something to catch. Huh? Yes. I can see that playoff run coming in close soon. Hopefully, we're clenching our fists for it.
They're how many games back? 2?
They're now 2 games back from first place, trailing the Braves. So we will see if they can sweep the Orioles tonight and then round it out at home against the Pittsburgh Penguins to finalize their last homestand of the season.
One thing I do want to say is something that Bryce Harper, I know the Bryce Harper when he was a National, and when everyone's been chanting like MVP, he literally stated, I don't like MVP talk. I don't like looking at my numbers. I just want to play my game, which is very mature of him.
Yes.
And he's definitely matured since he's come to Philly. So, maybe that's why he's doing so well. He's not worried about his numbers. He's just playing the game he loves.
No, definitely. That is definitely something admirable about him. He definitely came to Philly and just embraced the city as his own. And I remember back to, like you said, sitting in the crowd as a Phillies fan, and the Washington Nationals were in town, and everyone booing Bryce Harper in right field and just hating him as a Phillies fan. But now that he's ours, it's something different.
We like him now.
Yeah.
But next up, we have the Eagles. It was not the home opener they were expecting. Falling 17-11. I personally think they just got out-coached.
Yes.
Nick Sirianni even owned up to it in the post-game press conference, saying that it was his fault and he didn't call good enough plays, which can definitely be a game changer. And, with a bunch of the injuries, that didn't help as well. Talk a little bit more about that.
Yes, definitely. Jalen Hurts, the Eagles quarterback, even said there needs to definitely be more consistency throughout the team. And now with these injuries, Brandon Graham, all-star, Brandon Brooks, all-star, out with injuries for the season. I know Brandon Graham is out completely for the season. He suffered a ruptured Achilles in the second quarter of Sunday's game, and Brooks as well with a strained pec will also go on the reserve list out indefinitely. In other news, Zach Ertz tested positive for COVID, but still may be able to play in Monday night's game. Because he is vaccinated, he will need to pass 2 negative COVID tests in the span of 48 hours prior to the game. If he shows no symptoms, he will be cleared to play. So there's hope in that, thank God.
Yeah. Going back to Brandon Graham, his injury, he was very positive about it. After everything happened, he was like, look, this is the cards I've been dealt. I'm going to keep cheering my team on. I'm going to keep being the best teammate I possibly can be. And that's the attitude that Philly needs right now.
Definitely.
Unlike Ben Simmons is putting on a show right now. Tell us more about the Sixers, Rhea.
Talk about Ben Simmons. Well, I know everyone was disappointed with our point guard last season after that playoff run. But now, Ben Simmons, it is reported that he will not be showing up to training camp next week and intends to never play for the 76ers again. He has not spoken to team officials since late August, but clearly is forcing his way to a new team in the league. However, the Sixers still have not found a fair trade they like in exchange for the point guard. Right. Simmons still has 4 years and $147 million left on his maximum contract, including $33 million for the 2021-22 season, and clearly understands the financial implications of sitting out. However, the Sixers could test Simmons' willingness to stay away by finding him a considerable salary. His contract is structured for him to receive 50% of his salary before October 1st, so the Sixers need to get business done and squared away before then, hopefully.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to take in with Ben Simmons.
Yes.
I really don't think he is a good athlete for Philadelphia fans.
No.
I just don't think he can handle it. Like, they're brutal.
Yes, you have
Fans
to,
are brutal.
definitely. You have to have thick skin to be an athlete in Philadelphia, and definitely he took the brunt of it last season, but you know, if it's survival of the fittest around here. So if you can't roll with the punches, I mean,
it definitely
hit the back door.
Called brotherly love for a reason. But Rhea, it is almost October, so please tell us what that means.
Oh, aside from Halloween, get your costumes ready, but that means the orange and black is coming back, and the fans will have the opportunity to choose this season's goal song. So many fans are pushing for the nostalgic dupe goal song of 2012, which many associated with Briere's OT winner in the playoffs against the New Jersey Devils that year. Actually, they did rip that song off from the Union soccer team that same year. However, the evolution of goal songs include Feel the Shake, which was in 2019, We Dem Boys, Booyah, and Secrets by Tiesto. Brylin, what do you think? If you had to pick, if the decision came down to you, what would you like to hear as their goal song?
I am more of a country kind of gal, so not many people would love my goal song, but if I had to choose a goal song, I would definitely go with my girl, Carrie Underwood. She's just amazing. I would definitely have to do Cowboy Casanova, something with Before He Cheats, maybe. So if I had a goal song, that would be my goal song. But flipping the switch a little bit, training camp for the Orange and Black kicks off this Thursday, and with preseason right around the corner, major injuries are already stirring. It was announced today that Kevin Hayes had abdominal surgery and will be out for 6 to 8 weeks. Samuel Morin also out 6 to 8 weeks as he recovers from a right knee surgery. And Wade Allison, the young right winger who was hitting his stride at the end of last season, is out indefinitely with a high ankle sprain. Will the Flyers be able to fill these major roles with their new acquisitions? Does this leave room for younger players like Morgan Frost to step up? What do you think, Rhea?
Well, certainly, I definitely think it opens those doors. It gives that opportunity to players like Morgan Frost, who is coming off of a season of injuries as well. But I know Kevin Hayes has stated, I know he asked Elaine Vigneault, the Flyers head coach, he said, you know, I still want to be there for the team. I want to be a role model for the younger players and welcome the new acquisitions. So if it's possible, he still wants to show up at practices, at team meetings, and just be that energy, because we know Kevin Hayes gives that infectious energy, that 100% game mode all the time, and he's just an all-around great player, and that's what we need in the locker room, especially in this new year of acquisitions, new faces, and a clean slate. So anything to win and anything to grab Mr. Stanley Cup.
Well, we will see if they can get the job done. But moving on to our special Neumann University athletes, Atlantic East Weekly Honors, Drew Kanaisi, men's cross country, and Seth Walker on the men's soccer got Defensive Player of the Week. So speaking of the men's soccer team, their game this past weekend was intense.
For sure.
Going into OT, the Knights wanted to get back into the win column, and they did just that. Senior midfielder Marlon Trejo scored on a free kick about 30 yards out. Men's soccer is looking to even up their record against Widener tonight on our home turf at 4. What about the women's soccer team?
Yes, talking of intense games, yesterday was definitely an intense game for the women's soccer team. They held out against Eastern University, and that was huge. I know their coach was very pleased at their gameplay yesterday. They forced overtime with a scoreless 3-period game, ultimately falling to the Eagles in overtime, now holding a record of 2-4. However, conference play still has yet to open up, but first the team will take on King's University tonight to see if they can pull out another W. And if you're looking for some action on campus tonight, the women's volleyball team is set to face off against University of Scranton on home court at 7. What do we have for the field hockey team?
Field hockey will travel to Centenary University for a match at 4 p.m. tonight. But make sure to tune in next week because we will have a very special fellow Neumann student athlete to join us here on set. So you do not want to miss that. But make sure to tune into New Game Plus tomorrow, and you can listen to Christina and Amanda discuss the letter V for this week's episode of Alphabet Soup at 4:30 on 98.5 WNUW. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next Wednesday.